Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Craner. I'm your host, Lyndon Crane, joined today by a very special guest, Eddie Francis, President and CEO at WFCU Credit Union. And if you don't know, he also served 15 years as a public servant in the City of Windsor, where he was a councillor in 1999, elected at age 25, later going on to become Windsor's youngest mayor in history and also one of the youngest mayors in Canada, elected at 29 years old. Graduated from the University of Windsor Law School and was called to the bar in 2002 and has won many awards in the community, including a very distinguished one, the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal in 2013. Eddie, it's a pleasure to have you on the show and reconnecting with the folks in Windsor-Essex. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me, Lyndon. It's certainly an honor for me to be here. And as you and I were talking earlier, I've been out of politics now for about 7 years, and I've tried to stay very quiet. And I think I've done a pretty good job until you've come along and you've pulled me out of the corners and out of the darkness. And but I haven't done many interviews, but I've heard a lot of great things about you, so it's great to be part of this. And thanks for thinking of me.
Yes, thanks, Eddie. So I have to kick it off. Where in Windsor-Essex is your favorite place to grab some cup of joe?
My favorite's Tim Hortons. Dark roast, like those Tim Horton dark roast commercials when they changed over. I'm sitting there going, I'm the guy that you should have on the commercial because I could tell the difference. But I'm a dark roast guy, and Tim Hortons is my favorite. Continues
Perfect.
to be.
Actually. Nice and Canadian place to go to grab coffee, and I imagine it's close to WFCU. Yeah,
it's very close to. It's close to the ride home, close to the ride to work, and obviously it's everywhere where I need it to be. And I usually do 1 cup of coffee a day. That's it. It's a morning coffee. My staff and my team members will tell you they don't want me on more than 1 coffee a day. So but it works out well.
Yes. So our conversation is focused on going out of politics and now into a financial institution where you're a leader at WFCU Credit Union. What is your role like now as president and CEO? What are some things you might oversee?
So as president and CEO, I'm very fortunate to be part of a team of nearly 300 dedicated staff members and team members that most people think of us as a bank in terms of our offerings, deposits, loans, mortgages. But what most people don't know unless they've dealt with us directly is that we have a pretty extensive and comprehensive operation. We have a dedicated commercial team, which is the strongest commercial team in the region in southwestern Ontario. Our commercial team oversees the commercial portfolio, offering loans and offering assistance to small business all the way up to large projects that take place in Windsor-Essex, projects that take place in Ontario, but also we finance a lot of projects together with other partners across the country. So our commercial book of business is well over $1 billion. We have a dedicated team of individuals that's all they do every single day. So commercial is pretty robust and pretty strong. That complements our retail division. Our retail division, the branches, the bricks, the mortars, most people will have interaction with. They'll be able to walk in and get their daily banking with, but we have a digital entity as well. Everything from deposits, loans, mortgages, our team is always there and ready to help. And our division there is about another $1 billion in terms of retail mortgages and loans and personal loans. So when I first started at the credit union here, we're about $1.4 billion. We sit at approximately $3.5 billion in direct assets right now. We have an auto division. Most people don't know that about us. WFCU Credit Union, if you walk into an auto dealership and you ask for WFCU to do your lease for you, you'll get great rates through us. So we're found in dealerships across Ontario. We do auto loans, we do auto financing, and most people are pretty surprised to hear that about us. But it's just an extension of what we do and what we're able to offer in terms of service to our members. So from retail to commercial to auto to personal, we try to provide a one-stop shop for all of our members, and we're now 60,000 members. The most recent news during the pandemic that probably got lost because of the pandemic is that we were able to grow beyond Windsor-Essex. We acquired a credit union in the Kitchener-Waterloo-Cambridge area. So now WFCU has expanded our operations, and we now oversee an operation that that we're very proud of, and that's known as ECU, formerly the Education Credit Union. That's been in the Kitchener-Waterloo-Cambridge area for some time. But ECU now operates in the Kitchener-Waterloo-Cambridge as a division of WFCU. So we've been we've been growing. We've been very fortunate with the support of our members and the support of the communities. But more importantly, our team members have been very, very helpful in terms of allowing us to grow and provide the best services possible to our members.
And if I'm not mistaken, WFCU recently won, was it Best Workplace Award recently?
Best Workplace,
like a month ago?
Best Workplace in Canada now for several years in a row. And that's probably one of the highest honors for us and for me personally, because it's a reflection of what our staff feel about us. If you were to ask me, how would you, in 30 seconds or less, describe WFCU and what it is that we do? We're a full-service financial institution that is there for our members, for our team, and for our communities. And those are the three things that we focus on. How do we deliver the best services for our members? How do we give our members what they want, the way they want it, at the best possible rate and best possible value? How do we give for our team? And that's why the Best Workplace in Canada is so important. When you work at WFCU, you're part of a family, but more importantly, we want to make sure that you're taken care of. We want to make sure that when you start with WFCU, that you can retire with WFCU. So when we win recognition and when we're recognized by Best Workplace in Canada, we're going up against corporations across the country. And for us to be held in high esteem among our peers, but more importantly, as a result of what our team members and what our employees are saying about us, means the world to us, because it means that we're delivering on the promise in terms of taking care of our team members. And of course, I think most people know of our commitment to community. Something that we continue to do and something that we will always do.
Mm-hmm. Definitely the community piece has been huge. And I think everyone in Windsor-Essex has seen that from WFCU and their commitment to community impact. And it's definitely a huge honor that that award you won this year and previous years for sure. What would you say, I guess, from being at WFCU 7 years now, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, it's been 7 years. Time flies.
Yes. What would you say have been some of your biggest accomplishments at WFCU since you've joined?
I think the biggest accomplishment, if I had to choose, is the development of the team and recognizing the growth potential of our team. It's more for us, as I said earlier, Lyndon. It's about focusing on our members, our team, and our communities, and being able to deliver on all three of those promises has been probably the best thing. But more importantly, it's rewarding for me to be able to watch our team members grow. Staff that started on the front lines being able to work their way up in the organization. I have a saying with my staff: we grow, you grow. So to watch our staff being provided the opportunity to grow professionally, to be able to grow personally, and to be able to deliver on the promise of the credit union that's been set by the board in terms of making sure the needs of our members and the needs of our communities are met. That's been a very rewarding and fulfilling experience for us. And it's been great to watch and great to be part of.
Definitely has. And switching over to working at the City of Windsor, now working at WFCU, is there any differences that you've noticed leading both huge, massive corporations?
Well, I've had this conversation with some of my friends over the years, and the most often asked question is, what is the difference, right? I'm probably as busy, if not busier now, than I was when I was mayor. And I think most people probably may not remember the time, but we had a very challenging time when I was mayor of the city. We had a very challenging, significant number of challenging issues that were all equal priorities that kept us really, really busy. But I'm probably busier now than I've ever been in my professional career. But it's a different type of busy. And as I often share with my friends and family, the stress level, although the stress level is still there, the demands are still there. I describe it as a healthier stress, if there's such a thing, because it's very different. When I was mayor, my late wife, Michelle, would often say, you've got to slow down. Like, why? And I was always running and always preoccupied with ensuring that we're doing the things that we need to do. And you're driven by the media cycle in some way, right? And it was a full-time job to ensure that our message and what we were doing was front and center. Because as mayor, I always knew that I wanted to leave the office at a very young age. And I always recognized that leaving the office, I always wanted to stay in Windsor. I had a young family. My family and my children were going to stay in Windsor. We wanted to grow in Windsor. And I didn't want to become toxic, right? So I always had this self-imposed pressure on me to ensure that we're always doing the best that we can to ensure that when I left, I was able to leave on top. that when I left the office, that people were still talking to me and people that still acknowledged me, and that I wasn't toxic, that people would cross the street to avoid me, right? So that put a whole level of stress on me. That was self-imposed, admittingly, but it probably made the job even more daunting than it already was. So compared to this job here, the stress levels are there, the demands are there, but it's a healthier stress. It's a different stress. I don't have a media cycle. I don't have the same type of public lens or pressure that is imposed as a result of that public lens, to the extent that anybody in public office would these days.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
difference.
No, definitely. And I would imagine politics has a lot on, it takes a toll on individuals and then also families as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was, I left politics at 40. On the inside, I was probably 86. So it's good to see that I've been able to reverse some of that, but some of my internal clock. But it does age you. It ages you quickly.
Yes, and I imagine you have some fond memories of your time leading the City of Windsor. What would you say, I guess, were your best accomplishments during your time at the city?
Well, again, even when I was in the mayor's office, I never talked or never liked talking about my accomplishments. I always said that I'd leave it to others, and nothing has changed 7 years later. I think the best opportunity for me it was the fact that I was given the opportunity. The residents took a chance on me. I was 25 years old when I was first elected to city council. Not many people nobody knew who I was. I was no one. At 29, when I ran for mayor, I was a young kid running for mayor, and people took a chance. So I took that responsibility seriously, and I wanted to be able to deliver for the residents of the City of Windsor, and the residents in the community in the City of Windsor gave me that opportunity. So for that, I'm grateful. And I think that's probably the biggest accomplishment for me, was being able to deliver on the promises and being able to deliver in a way that made Windsorites proud and made the communities that we served and that I served as mayor very proud to say that they're from Windsor. I'm very proud of the fact that we were able to advance the city on a number of different levels to the point that we did.
Well, you're definitely very humble, and we appreciate that. I mean, 29, being elected as mayor at 29, that's young, right? How did you, I guess, convince your constituents and those people that you were representing that I'm capable of leading?
Yeah, I think the first and foremost is that at 25 when I ran for council, and at 29 when I ran for mayor, you're just, and I was for sure, very seized of a specific vision, right? I wanted to do more for our city. I wanted to be able to help move our city to the next level. And I believe very strongly in my capacity, but I also believed in the capacity of those that were elected to work together to move things forward. So it's that strong belief and that strong desire rooted in a very strong and cogent vision that drove me. So we knew that we wanted to accomplish certain things. We knew what those certain things were. We knew what we wanted our city to be. We had a vision of where we wanted to be and what it would look like. And every day we were just preoccupied on making that happen. So in terms of convincing people that they should vote for us, and in terms of convincing people that we were the right team for the job, was about getting out there, articulating what our vision is, articulating what our plan was, and basically asking for their support. And as I said earlier, we're very fortunate that people believed in us and gave us the opportunity to prove that things are doable and achievable.
Yes. And then do you ever miss politics? Is it something you ever think about still?
I don't miss it. I haven't missed it. The only time I really did, if there was an inclination or a little hint of me missing it, was during the most recent crisis with the pandemic, right? For some reason, I felt myself saying, "Oh, I wanted to be back part of the action, right? I want to be able to help. I want to be able to make a difference." But honestly, Lyndon, in the 7 years, that's the only time that I ever missed it. And most people, when I first ran for politics, I shared with a lot of people that I had intended to get out at a young age. People said, "Well, that's not true. That's not true. That's never going to happen." When I decided to run for my third term, I knew that it would be my last term. When I decided to announce a year ahead of schedule that I was leaving office, most people said, "Well, he's going to be, he's going to be running federally. He's going to be running provincially. There's no way." But in my mind, I walked away from politics. I did, as you said, 15 years. a third of my life nearly at that time was served in politics, right? At a very young age. So I recognized I wanted to get out and I wanted to move on. So being able to get out and being able to move on, the opportunities that the residents provided me have been something that I always will remember. But I also, it was equally important for me personally and professionally to walk away from politics and not to be caught into the cycle where politics becomes your identity. In my entire career and in my entire tenure as an elected official, I really wanted to ensure that the job did not become my identity, because I recognized that the office I was serving was not my office, but it was the office of the people. I wasn't the mayor. I was the mayor. I was working in the mayor's office, right? And I didn't want to start believing the fact that that was my identity. So for me, it was important to get out. It was important to get out early, and a lot of people thought that I was doing it to move up and to move up to provincial and federal politics. For me, it wasn't about politics. I always enjoyed the economic development. I enjoyed building a city. I enjoyed being part of a team to collaborate to move the city forward. I never enjoyed the politics of it. I hated the politics of it. I still do to this day. Most people find that surprising, but it's true, right? So, so I'm very fortunate to be where I'm at. I'm very fortunate to be working with the team that I am at WFCU, and it's just it's a new chapter in my life that's been very fulfilling and rewarding in terms of making sure that we're moving things forward in a different arena, but things are moving and things are progressing, and we're equally having fun.
I definitely appreciate the honesty. Very interesting to know that you haven't missed it, and it's something that you're glad you're out of at a young age, and you definitely appreciate your time in office working for the people of the city of Windsor. And it's great too, right? You're still able to make some type of community impact with WFCU.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what was very appealing about the opportunity with WFCU. I was able to join a very well-established team and a well-established organization, institution in Windsor-Essex that valued its members, that valued its staff and team, but also equally valued its contribution to community. Our board chair, Marty Gillis, has a wonderful quote and saying that he often refers to. And he says the difference between us and our bank and the banks is what we do with our profits at the year end, right? We're in the business. We're in the banking business. We make money like the banks do, but the difference between us and them is what we do with that profit, what we do with that bottom line, and that's giving back to our communities, investing back into our communities, investing back into our members, and investing back into our staff. And I'm very fortunate to find such a deeply principled and strongly rooted organization like WFCU that took me in and that provided me a new opportunity to work with them and to work alongside with them as principled as they are.
And what would you say, like on a yearly basis, WFCU gives back to the community?
I think the most recent number that I've seen is over the last 5 years, when you consider our economic investment and together with our direct contributions to the community in terms of scholarships and grants, it's close to $67 million now. We do a lot of economic development. We do a lot of economic investment that most people perhaps may not be aware of, but we're very proud of it, and we're very quiet about what we do. But in terms of us supporting the youth, us supporting the community, us supporting leaders in our community, and supporting the many charitable and not-for-profit and other worthy groups, that's something that is near and dear to our principled approach. And that's something that's near and dear to our board in terms of giving back. In addition to that, the programs that we run on a yearly basis through our Inspire program, things like the spelling bee, the scripts spelling bee, we are able to bring that back. Those type of development programs that we're running through the schools, providing a youth of our community an opportunity to develop and be part of the scripts spelling bee and be able to compete in Washington, D.C. with kids at the national level. Those things are very immeasurable, right? Because their impact are huge. So whether it's investing in the teams, it's investing in the sports teams, it's investing in naming rights, it's investing in scholarships or programs through the Inspire program or through our economic development portfolio. Over the last 5 years, we've given back nearly 67 million, or we've invested nearly 67 million. And that's something that we're very proud of, and that's something that we'll continue to do. More importantly, that's something that's made possible because people bank with us, right? People support us. If you have a mortgage or you have a loan, would you rather be banking with us, or would you be rather banking with a bank that takes their profits and distributes it up to the shareholders in the boardroom, right? Or would you rather be banking with a member-centric organization like a credit union, whether it's WFCU or any other credit union, where you know that the investments that you're making, you get the same products, the same services, probably better service, right? Probably a better value, but more importantly, at the end of the day, you know that the investment that you're making is going to give back to the communities where those credit unions serve. That's value. That you can't put a number to that. That's valuable and immeasurable in its own right.
Definitely, and I think that's a huge win for somebody that wants to transition to a credit union, is the community impact that you have by just being a member.
Absolutely, and it doesn't cost you anything to transition. You're still getting the same services, the same products. You're getting all your needs taken care of. You're probably going to get better experience. You're probably going to get better one-on-one service. You're not a number with the credit union. You're a valuable member. And, we take care of our members and we try to do the best that we can. But at the end of the day, you also know that you're giving back to the community, so that you can be proud to be part of an organization that gives back, and gives back so proudly and so visibly across the communities that we serve.
So, Eddie, we had two great questions that came in specifically about WFCU. Do you have a couple of minutes just to answer them?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Brenda Pear's asking, does WFCU have future plans for growth in Ontario?
Brenda, thank you for the question. Absolutely, we do. We've been located in Windsor-Essex for a long time, and Windsor-Essex will be our home. This is where we're headquartered. We've expanded in Windsor-Essex, so not only do we have expansion plans across Ontario, we've expanded in Windsor-Essex. We've opened up the most recent new branch that we've opened up is in Kingsville. So just prior to the pandemic, bad timing, I know, but we're up and running in Kingsville, and we've got some new exciting features that we're going to be launching there as we come out of the pandemic. Lakeshore is our next community that we're looking at to grow in. So in Windsor-Essex, we continue to grow, we continue to modernize. As we shared earlier, we back in October of 2020, we finalized an agreement to acquire Education Credit Union in the Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge area. And the idea is to, and they've now become ECU, a division of WFCU Credit Union. They operate under the ECU banner, a division, but they remain a division of the credit union. That's pretty prominent. And the idea there is to grow ECU in the Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge area as we've grown WFCU in the Windsor-Essex area. And growing becomes important. It becomes important for our members because it expands the network of opportunities for our members. So our members today in KW, if they're in Windsor-Essex, they can bank at any one of our branches seamlessly without any issue, and vice versa. But also equally important, it allows us, remember what our three principles are, right? Investment in members, investments in team, our team members, and investments in community. But not only are we providing members better access, better service, but we're also giving our team members opportunities. We have a number of our staff members here that once we announced the acquisition in Kitchener-Waterloo that have knocked on our door and said, hey, you know what, this is great. Is there an opportunity for me to grow? I'd like to go and work at a KW, right? Is there an opportunity for me to grow my skill set? So there's opportunities there that these expansion plans are providing for our staff. And as we've talked, it's providing us an opportunity to do for the communities of Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, what we're doing and what we've done and what Windsor-Essex is known for us to do. So the idea is to grow. The idea is to continue to grow. By growing, by adding new members, we're able to offer better services. We're able to offer more valuable services. We're able to invest in our members, invest in our team, and invest in our communities. But the one thing remains true: we're never gonna compromise on our principles. We're never gonna compromise on our values, and we're always going to be the credit union that puts the members and our staff and our communities first and foremost, no matter our size and no matter how large or where we are at any given time.
Amazing. Very, very exciting for the Windsor-Essex community and in Kitchener and the county areas as well. Next question comes from Raj Loganathan. How about investment in attracting new business to set up shop in Windsor? Is WFCU working on that front?
Yeah, we do, Raj. We do quite a bit. We do quite a bit with our commercial members. We're very fortunate that commercial members and commercial businesses that are looking to make investments in Windsor-Essex will come to us, and we work with them personally to educate them about the region. We work with our community partners, whether it's through the city or the county, or through the chamber or any other community groups that are out there, to ensure that all of their interests are met, all of their questions are answered. The one thing that you probably may have heard me say and share with Lyndon earlier, the one part about my job that I liked in my old career was economic development, and that hasn't changed. So whenever there's an opportunity for us to attract investment, when there's an opportunity for us to sell Windsor, that's an opportunity that we continue to do, and that's an opportunity that we continue to promote. And that's something that our commercial team does very, very successfully. And we're very fortunate to be able to attract new investors into the Windsor-Essex area, and be able to do that by opening up doors through WFCU when the opportunity presents itself.
Fantastic. And again, another a way that your role at the city and WFCU align, economic development. You see that, I imagine, every day.
Absolutely. And that's what we enjoy. That's what I enjoy. I don't know about the others, but that's what I certainly enjoy.
Yes. And Eddie, I know we went a bit over, but that's okay. I think we covered a lot of ground today, talking about politics and now your role at a major financial institution in Windsor and Essex. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I think the community really enjoyed seeing you again and talking about your career prior to WFCU and what you're up to now.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Lyndon. I appreciate you having me on the show, and appreciate being able to spend some time with you.
Yes, thanks, Eddie, and thanks for those watching. We'll see you very soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.